I am sure I'm going to anger some people in the spiritual community with this, but I don't care. I'm not here to make you happy. I'm here to tell you the truth, man. Did you know that saying something like, I'm not going to vote in this current election because I'm beyond that spiritually, I'm not even involved in any of that, that's spiritual bypassing? Let's get into it. Spiritual bypassing is when you try to ignore the world around you and say, I've evolved, I'm elevated, I'm beyond that. And if you have evolved and you are elevated, I freaking love that for you. It takes a lot of work to get to the place where you're evolved and you feel elevated. It takes a lot of work, and that's really good. But you did choose to have a physical experience. You wanted a physical incarnation, right? And yes, we are spiritual beings, and a lot of us are waking up and figuring that out, and that's really, really great. But here's the thing. You are dishonoring your choice, your decision to have a physical experience if you just say, I'm not going to vote in this election, because you still live here. You still live in this world, right? You can't hope for a beautiful world and for things to change if you are not part of that change. That's like saying, oh, I want to live in a world that's pollution free. That's great. I love that. But then you walk past all the litter on the street. You see something in a park and you don't pick it up and throw it away. That's spiritual bypassing. Look, if you're incarnated somewhere that's in desperate need of change, and you ignore the chance to do the bare minimum, like voting, to affect that change, you're using your spirituality as an excuse to bypass your own story. You don't get to be part of a high vibe world if you don't do anything to help create it. It's just not a match. That is the exact same energy as saying, oh, what do I know? I'm so emotional. I'm just a Pisces. Like, girl, you can't use your spirituality as an excuse for bad behavior, or you can't use your spirituality as an excuse to ignore the world that is on fire around you. I mean, you can, I guess, but then you're not actually being spiritual. You're just bypassing all of the stuff that you had meant to come down here and be a part of. So if you want to actually use your spirituality and use the things that you've learned and the ways that you've grown, then you have to put things into practice, right? Jesus himself, one of the ultimate spiritual ascended masters, would not say, oh, I'm not going to vote in this election because I'm beyond that. Jesus himself was not beyond voting. Jesus himself was not beyond helping people when they needed help, right? That's like the ultimate of spirituality, right? That's like the pinnacle, the peak of spirituality, when you genuinely want to help people. You can't ignore everything going on out here and use your spirituality as an excuse and think that you're living in high vibes. It's like not a thing. You know what I mean? It's not a thing. You're not actually doing the thing that you think that you are doing. You're not actually living in those high vibes. You're actually living in lower vibes when you're saying, oh, I'm beyond that. I've moved past that. There are certain things, yeah, that you're going to move beyond, like gossiping, right? Talking poorly about other people. If you used to litter, perhaps littering, right? There are certain things that you can move beyond for sure. You can move beyond your anger. You can move beyond your trauma. There are so many things you can move beyond, but you can't actually move beyond humanity. You chose to have a physical experience here on earth, and you are disrespecting your own choice by saying things like, oh, I've moved beyond all of you. So what questions do you have? Drop them in the comments. As long as you are kind in the comments, you can say whatever you want. I love a good back and forth. What do you got for me?